So, with the theme of Johnny Depp's team is really that Amber Heard is playing the role of a DV victim. And to do that, she has ruined Johnny Depp's career, his reputation, his name, and that she has been kind of acting, if you will, casting herself as a victim. From Amber Heard's side, you heard that he was a obsessed ex-husband, hell-bent on revenge.
Hey there, I'm attorney and legal analyst Emily D. Baker. These are the quick bits. Warning, curse words ahead. Let's get into it.
He dragged her all the way to Virginia for revenge. He's suing her for revenge. This is just further perpetration of what he's already done to Amber Heard. The most interesting thing we got from Heard's opening, aside from the fact that they said she was dating Elon Musk, which I think that she had previously denied, and the chat was like, didn't she deny that? Look, the in and outs of their relationship is not something I've kept up with extensively. But here was, hey, she was dating Elon Musk, which was an interesting thing to drop in the opening. They also talked about the shitting on the bed of it all, which was very interesting. But the most interesting thing from their opening is the way that they reframed it. I don't know how much this will be caught because there's more sensational sentences. This obsessed ex-husband is kind of their headline statement that they're going to want the media to run with. But there's a much more important statement in this opening, and that is whether or not the statement is defamatory, they are arguing hinges on whether she reported the DV, whether she made a report of domestic violence. She absolutely made a report. So they are trying to shift the narrative. The narrative's not, did this happen? Did this not happen? But did she report it? Because the headline, and let me pull it up. Lawyers take notes. I was taking notes on it. That he has no damages. He hurt his finger himself, but truly that she reported the DV. And because she reported it, her statements were true in that Washington Post op-ed. This is the headline from the online version, and they showed the print version in court as well. I spoke up against sexual violence. So they're going to lean into the reporting. She reported it, and it's true she reported it. Look, she went and got a temporary restraining order. She made the report. The fact of the report is true. So her saying in an article that she, in fact, reported it is true. Therefore, there's no defamation, and it's protected by the First Amendment because what she reported what she wrote in the Washington Post is that she reported this, and the report was true. It doesn't matter what happened underlying it. That's all he said, she said. This is what I got from their opening. That's all he said, she said. She said that she reported it. The thing is, though, the statement here, that's one of the statements that they're going to key in on, was 2 years ago, which is right when the divorce was going on and the temporary restraining order happened, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse. That's not the reporting. That is others speaking up. So they're trying to reframe it to the reporting is the true statement. It's true that she reported it. And they are going to stick to that and try to take the jury out of the he said, she said. Did he abuse her? Did she abuse him? Was this a mutually combative relationship where you can't really call anyone an abuser, so all the statements are lies? That's what they're trying to go with. But it's clear that in the counterclaim or the cross complaint from Amber Heard, they are suing Johnny Depp for his lawyer, or who was his representative at the time, his lawyer saying that this was a hoax. Here's what I took from Johnny Depp's team's opening, and they had 2 lawyers do their opening as well. I thought it was more effective because Johnny Depp's team had a good break between his first attorney, the male attorney, and his second attorney, the female attorney, Vasquez. His male attorney really went into the facts, the causes of action, what we'll see. The female attorney went a bit more into attacking Amber Heard, which I think will be the strategy here. There's always a little something different when you have male attorneys attacking a female who has and is still saying that she is a victim of domestic violence. It will just not sit well with some, depending on the way the attack goes down. So that is a absolute strategy. And I thought Depp's lawyer did a good job of pointing out a number of inconsistencies in Heard's story. The theme really from Johnny Depp's opening was that Amber Heard is playing the role of a lifetime, that the timing of this article and this op-ed was constructed to boost her in the spotlight in 2018 and to really be a PR piece to kind of launch her in Aquaman going forward. So it really was it really is being couched as a PR piece. They talked about the fact that the domestic violence restraining order that she sought in court, that you saw Heard's team talk about an opening, they really couched that as, look, this was an ex parte TRO, which means you go in without the other party. It's one party only asking for it. So they said, you know what? Depp and his lawyers didn't have an opportunity to respond. He was on a plane and he was doing a musical tour around the UK at the timing this happened, saying that Depp's contact with Heard before she went to get that restraining order was 6 days prior. And then he got on a plane, and that was the day the police came, got on a plane, went to Europe, didn't have a chance to respond to the temporary restraining order for domestic violence that was then dropped as part of the divorce proceedings. Depp's team is going to keep making it out that this restraining order was used to kind of bilk Depp of more money in resolving this divorce. Unfortunately, that is something that can happen in divorce proceedings. So with that temporary restraining order, ex parte, Depp didn't have a chance to respond. The court granted it. It was never made permanent with a more thorough hearing because Depp and Heard settled the divorce. Withdrawing the restraining order, or the temporary restraining order, was part of it. And she got $7 million, which she said, I wasn't doing this to leverage money. I wasn't getting the temporary restraining order to leverage money. See, I'm donating all of it, which is why the donating of the money becomes such a big plot point here in this case for both sides. So Depp's team very much painted it out that she was essentially using Johnny for clout and used a lot of Hollywood imagery. She's recasting herself as a victim. She's playing a role, really leaning into that imagery of her trying to find the right role to play to help her star rise. That's really where they leaned in their opening. Then you get to the opening that we just saw. The first attorney, and again, I am terrible with names, I do not remember Heard's male attorney's name, had a very calm and thorough demeanor. I found him much more enjoyable to listen to than her second attorney. It was very much a linear and easy to follow. Look, there's not going to be any damage here. He got in the line that I think is going to be their tagline that we're going to continue to see, because I was taking notes on this one. I didn't take notes on the first part, but the tagline that we're going to see of he's an obsessed ex-husband hell-bent on revenge is exactly what he said in that. And so I think this is going to be their theme. This case is in Virginia because he's being abusive to Amber. He sued her because he's being abusive. He's obsessed. He wants this to continue to play out. He's not willing to let this relationship go. He's not willing to let any of this go. And I think a lot of that was lost when you get into the wandering storytelling of the second attorney for Amber Heard, talking about, and then there was this, and then, her best friend from down the street had this phone call, and then it got very muddy, and her storytelling was not linear at all. So I think, if anything, she might have undone some of what was heard in Depp's opening, because you're left a bit confused. That might have been the strategy. The strategy might really have been to confuse the jury, to undo the points brought up. I was shocked that they talked about the shit on the bed. Depp's team didn't bring it up. I was waiting to see. But the fecal phobia and he was obsessed with the poop on the bed. I'm like, look, if somebody poops on my bed, we're going to have conversations about it for sure.
Thank you for joining me for today's Quick Bits. For a full breakdown of this story and more, join me on my long form channel at The Emily D. Baker, or on my podcast, The Emily Show, on all your favorite podcasting apps. And for more Quick Bits, you can find me on social media at The Emily D. Baker. I will see you for another Quick Bit soon.